A leap, a fall, silence. A snow leopard and a mountain goat plummet from a steep cliff, tumbling in a cloud of powdery snow. Rocks follow them down, crashing against boulders and vanishing into the abyss. The predator grabs its prey but loses its grip, and the goat miraculously clings to a narrow ledge, just a hand's width wide. The leopard is left without its meal. Breathing heavily, it licks its battered paws, and just a minute later, it's climbing back up as if nothing happened. Such is its typical hunt. While lions, tigers, and leopards patrol the savannas and forests, the snow leopard is the only big cat to have chosen vertical cliffs to live and hunt on, places other predators don't even dare to approach. There, any wrong step can be fatal, and the prey knows every inch of the cliff better than any mountaineer. Yet it returns there again and again. This raises two questions right away. Why do all other large predators avoid these cliffs, while the snow leopard has made them its primary hunting ground? And why does it risk its life daily in a place where prey can easily escape and it itself could be killed by a fall at any moment? It's often called the mountain leopard, although that's not entirely accurate. They do look similar on the outside, but if you study their genetics, an amazing fact is revealed. The snow leopard's closest relative isn't the leopard, but the tiger, even though neither of them has ever braved such mountainous heights. Its habitat stretches across the Himalayas, Tibet, the Pamirs, the Altai, and the Sian Mountains, encompassing a world of rock, ice, and thin air. In the winter, the frost here kills faster than hunger, and for months on end, there might be nothing underfoot but sharp rocks and snow. The lion considers itself the king of the savanna. The tiger lurks in the forest thicket. The leopard hunts confidently both in the jungle and among the cliffs. But not even the leopard turns sheer, frozen walls into a permanent home, unlike the snow leopard. You'd think it would be easier and warmer down below, where there's less risk of a fatal fall after a botched jump, and it's easier to get around. But heading down doesn't mean an easier life in the slightest. That's where a whole different set of problems begins. Problems almost unheard of in the mountains. Down in the valleys, everything is already spoken for. Wolves operate in packs and can steal a kill from a stronger competitor. A bear's mere presence forces others to leave the territory. And the lynx is more comfortable in the forest than any other big cat. The cliffs changed the rules of the game. The steeper the slope, the fewer creatures are willing to climb it. For most predators, a sheer rock wall becomes a boundary, beyond which prey is nearly unreachable. For the snow leopard, this boundary has never been a barrier, and that is precisely its main advantage. Where it's too dangerous for others, that's where its own territory begins, a place with no competition. No one chases its prey, no one gets in the way of a successful hunt, and no one forces it to constantly prove its dominance. The cliffs simply give it the opportunity to live by its own rules. The absence of rivals doesn't mean that prey is an easy catch. Not at all. Up here, the snow leopard must face an opponent that is far more sure-footed on these cliffs, and the only way to defeat it is by using its strength in a way that's different from what other big cats do. The snow leopard doesn't try to outrun the mountain goats. It knows from the very beginning that it would lose that kind of race. So its hunt is built on a different principle. It doesn't run after its prey, but instead forces it into a situation where escape becomes impossible. To do this, the snow leopard needs to get above the herd. Sometimes getting into position takes much longer than the attack itself. Patiently climbing the rocks, the snow leopard waits for the moment the goats move into the right spot below it. Now, the height works to its advantage. It doesn't need to build up much speed for the jump like other big cats. The rock under its paws suddenly ends, and its forward momentum is driven not just by muscle power, but also by its own body weight. In attacks like these, the jump can reach 14, sometimes 15 meters. For most predators, this seems impossible. But it's not just the length of the jump that matters. The snow leopard appears from above, where the prey least expects danger. Sometimes the attack happens on a narrow trail, where the goat simply has nowhere to go. Turning around is impossible. On the left is a sheer cliff, on the right, a drop-off. A single, precise jump is enough to decide the outcome of the entire hunt in just a few seconds. However, this method of hunting leaves no room for error. On flat ground, a failed jump just means the prey gets away. In the mountains, however, the stakes are much higher. During an attack, the snow leopard sometimes tumbles down with its prey, falling from the rocks and flipping over. Mountain goats know every trail from birth and are as sure-footed on sheer slopes as a person is on a flat road. If the leopard miscalculates by even a little, its prey will instantly disappear to a place where a chase is meaningless. That's why not every attempt is successful. A leopard can spend several days in a row climbing cliffs, stalking a herd for a long time, and choosing the perfect moment to pounce, all while still coming up empty. For this animal, that's just business as usual, not a rare occurrence. Any other large predator would have given up this hunting method a long time ago, since each attempt takes way too much energy and the risk is too great. But the snow leopard keeps on doing it this way because it simply has no other way to survive in these conditions. To keep up this lifestyle year after year, the leopard's body had to be almost completely rebuilt. It didn't just adapt to the mountains, it's like it was specifically designed for this world. And that becomes especially clear not when it's still, but when it's moving. When the leopard walks on fresh snow, its paws don't sink in. Its wide, thickly furred paws act almost like natural snowshoes, which distributes its weight evenly over a large surface area. And the animal walks easily where others would sink right in. Its paw pads are covered in tough leather, providing excellent traction even on wet, smooth rock. Every step seems carefully calculated, as if the leopard knows in advance where it can safely place its paw and where the footing might give way. Just before a leap, its hind legs engage. They are considerably longer than its front legs, and they are what create the powerful thrust that allows it to fly across chasms and ledges in a single bound, places where others would have to find a detour. When the leopard makes a sharp turn on a narrow ledge, its tail, which is nearly 3 feet long on an adult, comes into action. It shifts in the opposite direction during the turn, much like a tightrope walker's pole, helping the leopard keep its balance. When the leopard is resting on a cliff, that same tail wraps around its body, covering its nose and paws from the icy wind. In the mountains, where nighttime temperatures can easily drop far below freezing, a small detail like this helps conserve precious warmth. While its prey grazes peacefully, the leopard tries to remain completely still. Its smoky gray coat with dark spots almost perfectly matches the pattern of the surrounding rocks. Even seasoned mountaineers only spot the leopard at the very moment it begins to move. In a dense forest, a coat like that would give it away instantly. But among the gray rocks, shadows, and patches of snow, it becomes almost perfect camouflage, completing the image of an animal that nature created for life in a place where flat surfaces are almost non-existent. People who have lived at the foot of these mountains for thousands of years encountered the leopard in the flesh much less often than they found its tracks. And in places where the animal is rarely seen with one's own eyes, it quickly becomes something more than just a hunter. In Tibet, the snow leopard was called the spirit of the mountains, a creature that appears only to those who are worthy. Seeing one was considered a rare stroke of luck, almost like a sign from above, since the leopard chooses who to reveal itself to and from whom to remain unseen. In Mongolia and the Altai, it was associated with an uncontrollable force. The leopard does not submit to humans the way a horse or a dog does, and it doesn't fear them like livestock. For the nomadic peoples, it became a symbol of freedom. The very word used for the leopard in some languages of the region, urbis, appeared long before any written descriptions of this animal. Simply put, people knew about it long before science did. In Buddhism, the snow leopard was sometimes associated with the transition between worlds, a creature that felt equally at ease among the people below and up there, high above, where the air is painfully thin, at the border of earth and sky. Today, scientists have studied the snow leopard far more deeply than shamans and shepherds did a century ago. But one thing remains the same. The leopard still appears before people only of its own volition, not when it has been actively tracked. Nevertheless, neither its powerful body nor its formidable reputation would do the leopard any good if it thought the same way as other big cats. Before beginning a hunt, it doesn't just lunge forward at the first sign of prey. On the contrary, it stays completely still for a long time and carefully observes the scene. Mountain goats don't choose their paths randomly. Year after year, they travel the same trails, sometimes along narrow ledges that only one animal can cross at a time. And other times, they pause on small clearings where the herd rests for a bit before the next climb. The leopard knows these spots well, so it doesn't hunt where the prey is at that moment, but where it will inevitably be a short time later. The final pounce is the culmination of a long hunt, one that started long before the target itself ever appeared. Sometimes this wait can drag on for several hours, and the whole time the snow leopard barely moves, carefully conserving its strength. Every extra step or a premature lunge could spook the herd, and then it has to start all over again. The mountain goat understands its surroundings perfectly. For it, vertical cliffs are not an obstacle, but a familiar path it has traveled since its very first months of life. Sensing danger, it uses its only strategy, to get to places where it is difficult for the snow leopard to launch an attack. The narrower the ledge gets, the more confident the prey feels. In places where a person would not even dare to stop, the goats calmly pass one another, leap over chasms, and continue their ascent as if they were walking on a wide, comfortable trail. That is why not every encounter ends in a hunt. The snow leopard often gives up the chase, realizing the goat has found too good of a spot and the extra risk is not worth the potential kill. Such foresight allows the predator to live for many years. There is another enemy that cannot be fought in battle. This is the mountains themselves. In the winter, a thick layer of snow covers most of the slopes, which fills in all the cracks, smooths out the ledges, and turns a familiar trail into a dangerous trap. Sometimes all it takes is one wrong move for a whole avalanche of rocks or snow to come crashing down. A roar like that can be heard for hundreds of yards all around, and after that, you can forget about a successful hunt, because the entire herd is gone long before the snow leopard even gets close. Avalanches are a threat not only to its prey, but to the snow leopard itself. So it always chooses its path carefully, trying to avoid areas with unstable snow and determining ahead of time which spots can be considered safe by the shape of a cornice. This is exactly why, for a snow leopard, experience is so much more important than raw strength. A young cat might be fast and have great endurance, but the one who can survive in these mountains for the long haul is above all the one who has learned to feel the mountains and move in harmony with them, not to fight them. The territory of one adult male often covers hundreds of square miles. Scientists who put satellite collars on snow leopards have recorded that a single animal can cross several valleys in just a few weeks, moving dozens of miles from its previous location. Such a lifestyle seems wasteful. The constant treks demand a tremendous amount of energy, especially at high altitudes, where the thin air makes every single step a real struggle. However, staying in one spot is even more dangerous, since the prey is constantly on the move in search of food. A snow leopard doesn't follow a specific herd, but instead tracks the life of the entire mountain ecosystem. Wherever plants for hoofed animals begin to grow, the snow leopard eventually shows up. And as the animals move further along the slopes, it follows them. This lifestyle makes the snow leopard a real loner. It doesn't want to run into another adult on its turf at all, because an extra neighbor means less good prey and more risk of needless fights between rivals. There's one thing about them that surprises people when they first hear it. The snow leopard, one of the most well-known predators, is completely unable to roar. All other big cats can make a low, rumbling sound that can be heard from far away. This isn't a sign of weakness, and it's not a coincidence either. In big cats that can roar, the hyoid bone has a special structure. It's partly cartilage and provides the vocal cords with the necessary flexibility. In a snow leopard, this bone is fully hardened into bone, just like in domestic cats. It's physically incapable of roaring, but instead it purrs with every breath in and out, unlike most other cats that only purr when they breathe out. And instead of roaring, it meows and hisses. The rule of solitude is broken only one time. In late winter, during the brief mating season, males may travel dozens of miles through unfamiliar territories searching for a female. But soon, silence settles over the mountains once again. The female picks a spot ahead of time, a place no person, large predator, or even a random rock slide can reach. It's usually a deep crevice or a small cave among the cliffs, almost invisible to prying eyes. This is arguably the most difficult time of the female's life. Now, any unsuccessful hunt doesn't just mean she'll go hungry. It directly determines if her kittens will be waiting for her to return with food among the stony summits. The kittens are born with a distinct pattern of spots on their fur, though their eyes don't open until around the 9th day. Without yet seeing the mountains, they already bear their pattern and grow quickly. When the kittens get a little older, the female begins to lead them outside, just a few feet at first, and then farther and farther out. The kittens learn to leap over crevices, keep their balance, and choose sturdy footholds, mimicking their mother's movements. At first, the kittens are not good at much of anything. They often slip, hesitantly leap over narrow crevasses, and take longer routes where an adult female passes with ease, almost without any visible effort. The young snow leopards stay near their mother for almost 2 years, which is a very long time for such large cats. During this time, they memorize countless details that can't be passed down through instinct, like where it is safer to step, or which ledge might not hold their weight. Not all kittens make it to adulthood. Some are claimed by hunger, while others die during their first attempts at hunting alone. In the world of steep cliffs, even the slightest lack of skill can be deadly for a young animal. To a person, it sometimes seems like the snow leopard is breaking the laws of physics, moving freely where a mountain climber would need a safety harness, ropes, and hours of cautious climbing. Behind its every move lie thousands of generations where only the most skilled and precise individuals survived. However, in recent decades, the snow leopard has gained a new enemy, one that was practically non-existent throughout its history. The high mountains long remained a natural sanctuary where people rarely ventured, and the leopard could exist almost unnoticed. When wild prey becomes scarce, the snow leopard is sometimes forced to go after herds of livestock. For a herder, a lost sheep or goat is a serious blow, which leads to conflict between people and the predator, a conflict the leopard often loses. Nevertheless, the conflict with herders, as intense as it is not the main reason snow leopards are endangered. The consequences of poaching this animal are far more serious. For a long time, a snow leopard pelt was considered a status symbol, and a prized trophy sold for huge sums of money, legal or not. But it's not just about the pelt. The fate of the rest of the animal's body is much more grim. Snow leopard bones were often used as a substitute for tiger bones in traditional medicine. Because there are extremely few tigers left in the wild, their bones have all but disappeared from the black market, and the demand has shifted to their closest relative. The price a poacher can get for one captured leopard can be more than what a local makes in several months of backbreaking labor. With that kind of financial incentive, a simple ban often proves ineffective, because putting food on the table is more important than any law. More often than not, a snow leopard is killed with a snare, not a gunshot. A steel cable is set right on the trail the leopard uses regularly, sometimes without changing its route for years. And this loyalty to familiar paths becomes its downfall. Sometimes the snare isn't even set for the snow leopard at all. Poachers hunt mountain goats and sheep for their meat and horns, and the snow leopard gets caught in the trap by accident, simply because it travels the same trails as its prey. According to various estimates, more than half of the snow leopard population has disappeared from the wild in the last 50 years. But unlike the decline of the tiger, this catastrophe has gone almost unnoticed, since the leopard itself remains practically invisible throughout its life. These days, it's not just scientists with cameras working in the mountains, but also patrol teams who remove the snares before an animal can get trapped. Local people are specially trained to find and dismantle these traps along the trails. For this reason, the snow leopard is now protected in many countries. Scientists are working to save not just the predator, but also the hoofed animals, since its survival in the mountains is simply impossible without them. For a long time, information about the snow leopard's life was very scarce. And this was not because it was impossible to look for them. The leopard just turned out to be so skilled at staying unseen that even experienced zoologists who spent months in the mountains could not easily find one. Many discoveries have recently been made thanks to camera traps. It turned out that different leopards might use the same ledge or narrow trail for years, as if they know exactly which routes help them save energy and encounter prey more often. Even with the use of the latest technologies, the snow leopard remains unpredictable. A camera might not record any activity for several weeks, and then suddenly, in a single night, an adult male appears in the frame, then a female, and a few hours later, some older cubs are seen nearby. According to scientists, only a few thousand snow leopards are left in their natural habitat. These animals are spread out across a huge territory that covers 12 countries in Asia. And for much of the time, they live literally right next to people, all while remaining completely unnoticed.